Hello everybody, this is JerTheGeek, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my first impressions and thoughts on my new iPhone 5S. So I know I don't usually do these kinds of videos, but I thought it would be good just to sit down and talk to you guys about what I'm liking so far about my iPhone 5S in the about a week and a half's time that I've gotten to use it and get accustomed to how it works and how all the cool features work. Now, in case you didn't know, I upgraded from an iPhone 4S. I bought this used off of eBay. I got a pretty good deal on it. It is a 32 gig model. I got it in gold. And I'm pretty excited about it, so I thought I'd just sit down and tell you guys about it before Christmas and our vacation and stuff like that. I don't have too much time to post videos, so I wanted to do one last video before things start to get really busy. So, let's take a look at the iPhone 5S. Of course, it's an iPhone. I love the design. I'm going to pop off my leather case, which is actually made by Apple. Very nice case. I will do a separate video on that. But this is just the leather case. It's actually getting very dirty, so I ordered the black one because of the color case is going to get dirty. But here's the gold. I mean, a lot of you probably have already seen this already, but of course it never hurts to take another look. It is just a gorgeous color. The really nice touch is that you have that gold ring around the home button. So even if you have a case on it, as I do, you can still see the gold ring around the home button. It is just gorgeous. Gold all the way around there, the nice diamond chamfered edge. People said that this scuffs easily and they didn't like it as much, but I love it. I think it's a really cool design feature. You have those both up here and around there. There was a little dent on it. I'm not sure exactly how that got there. I don't remember it being there when I opened it, but you know, whatever. It's in the case anyway. So we have the iPhone branding, the glass inlays on the back. As you can see there, when I shine it like that, it looks you can see the gold very well when you shine it in the light, but off angle it almost looks silver. You can almost mistake it for silver, but you know, when you see it in person and look at it in the light, you can really tell it's gold. It is a really beautiful color. We have the colored volume buttons and mute switch as well. And colored power button and the SIM tray there. But yes, this is just a gorgeous device. I'll show you how Touch ID works. It's very simple. You just press the power button or home button to wake the device. You just put your finger on it like that and it unlocks. It's not perfect. Occasionally I will get the sign that just says to try again. Like for example, if I do this finger which is not registered, it just says try again. And you can do it a few times and eventually it will just bring you to the passcode screen where you can just type in your passcode or put in your right fingerprint. So obviously that was a fingerprint that I didn't have registered, but sometimes the ones that I do have registered actually don't go in. So that's just a very, very minor complaint. It's not perfect, but it does work, and it's much, much more convenient than having to go in and type in the passcode. After doing that for almost a year on my iPhone 4 and 4S, this is so nice, and I actually find myself doing it on my mom's phone, which she has a 5C, so no Touch ID on that iPhone. I find myself wanting to use Touch ID, so it's definitely something that is really nice. I actually haven't found myself using it on wanting to use it on my iPad, but I think that's because I have the smart cover and I just open it up and it pops on. But I'm sure, but anytime I do go to slide to unlock my iPad when the smart cover is not on, I do find myself, you know, kind of being annoyed to have to slide to unlock because I'm so used to just pressing my finger on the whole button. So that's a really nice feature, one of the very cool innovative features on the iPhone 5S. The camera is really cool. Just a very, very nice camera on the 5S. It has burst mode, which is really cool. You can just go like this and take a bunch of pictures, and it is really fast. It is crazy how fast it is, and it's really cool. I can also take slow-mo videos, this is quite cool to take videos in slow motion. And then you can also take pictures during video, which is cool. And then they just show up in your camera roll, so you have the picture there. You can also go in and select which part of slow motion is really cool. And then it'll show up as slow motion. You can see there, it's kind of hard to, and not really doing much in that video, but when you are doing action, it is really a fun effect. Speed on this device is absolutely amazing. Opening apps is just so smooth. I mean, you open an app and it's just like boom, it's there. I mean, internet is so fast with LTE. Turn on Wi-Fi minutes, you can see it does have LTE. And loading a web page, let me just load up a web page here. Actually, let's load up my YouTube site, and I believe this will render the desktop version. And this is the desktop site. You can see it loaded pretty fast for a mobile device loading a desktop site. You can see it, that's fast, and it's really cool. Sometimes it feels just as fast as my home Wi-Fi. This, of course, we have the transparent blur effect. Always seemed to lag a bit on my 4S, and it still does on my iPad mini. But you can see it's just so buttery smooth on there, and you actually get more transparency than I found on the 4S. So on the 4S, this was like, this whole bar was white, if you can see it there, but it actually adapts to the color. So even this like little bar here that shows how much brightness I'm using is actually like a bluish color because it's below the weather icon, and it shows up kind of well here. You can see, nope, didn't mean to lock it. You can see there, it's white, but then as I move to here, it turns red. Probably a little bit difficult to see, but it turns red over that ornament there in the picture, and then it's white over there because that part is white. But it's really, the transparent blur is much more, I'd say, adaptive to the background because of the A7 processor. That's really cool. It also tracks your steps in the background, and I mean, it's supposed to not use much battery life. I really haven't noticed too much of a difference in battery life between the 4S and the 5S. I'm not seeing a huge difference. I get a little bit more. I get around maybe 5 to 6 hours, but I've only used this phone for a week, so I'm using a lot more than I probably would, just because it's it's fun, it's new. But it's acceptable. It's not miracle battery life, but it's definitely acceptable, and it lets me get stuff done when I need to. But you can see it tracks your steps and the distance that you've traveled. It's only really accurate if you're carrying around your phone with you all day, but it's pretty cool to just glance and see how much you walked that day. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, of course, I can store more stuff on it, which is really nice. Of course, you can do that with any iPhone that's 32 gigabytes. I got the Pages suite, or the Pages numbers keynote free. That's nice with any new iPhone, or even this was a used iPhone, but for some reason Apple gave it to me for free because it knew, I guess it was a new iPhone. For me, I don't know how I figured that out, but I'm glad I got them free. That was really great. So that's nice to give you those for free. So you can, do documents and stuff like that. Overall, I'm just really impressed. It is also, one thing I forgot to mention, it is very thin. You can compare it to my iPad mini, which does have a case. You can see about the same thickness as my mini with a clear case on, which isn't really that thick on the mini. So you can see it's about the same thickness as the mini. It actually, at first glance, you would think it actually is pretty thick because of it has the blocky design rather than like the rounded design of the iPhone 6. But in reality, it isn't really that much thicker than the iPad mini or the iPhone 6. As you can see there, it is pretty thin. When you pick it up, you notice the thinness. It doesn't feel like alarmingly thin like the iPad Air 2, but it does feel thin, and it's very lightweight in the hands. It's very nice to hold. It's got, it's not, well, it is the lightest iPhone that Apple offers. It's not going to be like, like when you pick up an iPad Air for the first time, it's like, oh my gosh. When you pick up this for the first time, it's not too astonishing, but it is noticeable, and it's much nicer than the 4S because you get that bigger screen over the 4S, but it's still lighter and thinner, which is nice. As people said when the iPhone 5 came out, this is the same design as the iPhone 5. It's like they stretched the iPhone 4S out and made a pancake, and that's kind of a good analogy for what the iPhone 5 or 5S is. So between this and the iPhone 6, I needed a new iPhone, and I chose this, and I bought it used because it was available for a discount. Because it's used, it's been out for a year, so you can get it used at a discount. If the iPhone 6, if I would have wanted the iPhone 6 and it would have been available used, I would have bought that too, just because I want to save some money, and buying an unlocked iPhone is so ridiculously expensive. So buying used in pristine condition is a great way to go, because the way I think of it, as soon as you pull it out of the box, it's used anyway. You know, you buy it brand new, you pull it out of the box and use it for a day, it's already used. So why not buy it used in pristine condition? Of course, there's some cases, some people that don't like it. There's some use cases that would not be good for buying used, but for my case, it was perfectly fine. And I'd say the experience was overall pretty good. But you know, moving on, I chose this over the 6 simply because I like this screen size. It is a very nice screen size. You can hold it. You can reach every corner, or at least I can reach every corner. I think most people can. They can reach every corner of the screen with their thumb. As you can see here, I can reach everything. I can scroll. I can type easy. You know, I can reach every part of Oops. Sorry about that. I can, you know, reach every part of the screen like that. I can type easy. And I can type easily with one hand, so if I'm walking around, you know, holding maybe some food or, you know, soda or something, I can, you know, type with one hand. And this predictive text keyboard makes it super easy to just tap out my reply without having to type too much. Of course, we have dictation here as well, and Siri and all that stuff. But it, of course, you know, you can't rely on that all the time. You have to be able to hold the phone and type. And one-handed typing is a big thing for me. I like being able to do that. It's not the most, you know, ergonomic thing. It's easier just to do this, or, you know, probably the most comfortable is this. And I know the iPhone 6 is a little bit wider, so it might make typing like this. It does make the typing like this maybe slightly more comfortable. But overall, I think this is fine, and it's much better on the 5S when you're doing this. It's much nicer to do one-handed typing on the 5S than it is to do on the 6, especially, you know, if you have smaller hands. I would say I have about normal, maybe a little bit bigger hands, but I still prefer the one-handed usability of the 5S, as I can reach every corner of the screen with my hand, and that's the reason I chose it. I used the 6 in the store. I did not really like it. I think the design looks good. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd say the 5S looks better. I'm not like, you know, I don't like hate the design of the 6, but if I had to choose one design, well, obviously I did choose one design. I chose this one because I like it better, and I like the screen size better. I had the choice of getting this or waiting until my contract ended next year, which is it would end. I think it ends around when the new iPhones come out, so I could have gotten the iPhone 6s. So really, I told myself, okay, I have to decide if I want to upgrade my iPhone now, because I needed a new one. My 4S was just getting old, and I want to be able to get the Apple Watch when it comes out. So I needed a, you know, new iPhone for that. So I had to decide: do I want to get the iPhone 5S now, or do I want to get the iPhone 6 later when my contract came out? Because I decided that if I wanted the iPhone 6 now, it didn't make sense to pay for it. It was too expensive, and it didn't make sense to pay for it outright, because I could have just waited a little bit longer and gotten a better one at 6S for much cheaper. But if I wanted the 5S, I told myself I needed to get it now, because then I can use it for 2 years. If I waited till next year, it would be, you know, pretty much silly to buy one, because at that point it would be pretty close to being, you know, it would be getting obsolete. I would only get a good year's use out of it if I bought it last year, but if I bought it, next year, sorry. But since I bought it this year, I'll be able to get a good 2 years use out of this thing, which is what I plan on getting out of it, because it got iOS 8 with all the features. I'm assuming it'll get iOS 9 with all the features. It's got a 64-bit processor, so it's more than capable of keeping up with newer devices. And, you know, it's only a year old, and ultimately, this is the screen size I prefer. I really hope that Apple makes a new 4-inch phone next year, because I love this screen size. It is awesome. It's so compact. It fits in my hand easily. It's comfortable. You know, I can use it with one hand, as I said, and I can slip it in my pocket, forget it's there. Compared to the 4S, it was so thick and heavy. I always knew it was in my pocket, whereas this I found myself checking, especially on the first day I got it on my birthday. I kept checking my pocket, thinking, where's my phone? Because I was so used to the heft of the 4S in my pocket. You know, I wasn't used to the thinness and lightness of this in my pocket, but it just disappears in your pocket. It feels so nice. And it's just a very premium device. Of course, I'm not bashing the iPhone 6. I'm just, you know, giving my reasons and my thoughts on why I think this device is better. Why, you know, in my opinion, it is the best size for an iPhone. Okay, guys. Well, that is it for this video. I will have more content coming up on the iPhone 5S next year, or after the start of the new year, I will try to get a why I love video up, just like I did with my MacBook Air and my iPad Mini. I'm going to try to do the same thing for my iPhone 5S. I'm also going to be getting a Pebble smartwatch for Christmas, so I'm really excited about that. I'll bring you guys a ton of coverage on that. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please hit that big subscribe button at the end of the video so that you don't miss out on any of my future geeky content. And as always, please give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. God bless and have an epic rest of your day.